Ensuring your foundation is well protected is one of the key things you need to do before starting any exterior project. I often get calls from people saying, I've got water in the basement and I don't know where it's coming from, or why all of a sudden I've got water. The first thing I do is go on the outside of the house, not the inside. Down here, we've got the foundation of the house. Foundation of the house is paramount. Without it, the building crumbles. There's a difference between positive and negative slope. Positive slope means the earth is piled so that any water runs away from the building. Negative slope, water's running towards the building. Positive slope good, negative slope bad. Complementing that are things like these. These are called splash pads. Splash pads should appear under every downspout. What happens is, in a torrential rainstorm, water pours out of here. That water is going to erode the ground and eventually work its way back to the foundation. When it hits the splash pad, the impact of it hitting the ground is dispersed and the water is directed away from the building. Positive slope of the earth away from the foundation is paramount to protecting your foundation on an ongoing basis. The second item is gardeners. Gardeners will make things gorgeous to the despair of the foundation. Come on with me to the front of this particular house and I'm going to show you what I mean. It's not done, but I'm going to show you where the caution needs to be applied. Let's go. This is a relatively new home. These people haven't got to their landscaping yet. However, you can see down here, the builder has left very little room between the sod and the bottom of the brick. This is actually less than it should be. It should be about 6 inches to properly protect the foundation. In the foundation, if you look here, there's a hole in the mortar. It looks like there's some mortar missing. That's intentional. That's called a weep hole. Masonry, stone is not waterproof. Moisture can get through the mortar. That moisture needs to have a place to go. It'll run down the back, there's a flashing at the bottom, and moisture will work its way out of a weep hole. When you're creating a garden or anywhere around a home, there's 2 things you want to avoid. One is you do not want the garden, the earth, the new soil, to be anywhere near the top of the foundation. 2, you want to make sure that new garden still maintains positive water flow. You've got to have positive drainage from the foundation of the building. This is the top of the foundation at the front of this particular house. The earth, regardless of what it is, whether it's a garden, whether it's grass, it can't be any closer than this to the top of the foundation. You don't want the dirt up here blocking these weep holes. Moisture being forced to stay inside the configuration of a wall is going to have a devastating effect on a building over time. While we're out the front of the house, I explain why gardening, gardens, topsoil, etc. needs to be well maintained, needs to have positive slope from the building. Now we're in the backyard of the same house. There's a big deck under construction. This is 530 square feet. This homeowner did due diligence. They ensured that they had positive slope before they got started on deck foundations and construction. This house is only 4 years old. Prior to this, the soil had settled and this particular building had negative slope. When it rained, the water ran towards the foundation. So before they undertook this project, they took the necessary steps to avoid problems and expense in the future. 2 things they did. The first thing they did was they used screenings. Screenings are very fine. This is screening. Screenings, and over time they will naturally compact. You'll see landscapers put screenings down underneath interlocking stone. So we've got the screenings. The screenings were used to create the positive slope, so water now would run away from the building. Then this landscape cloth was put down. Landscape cloth is designed to inhibit the growth of grass, weeds, etc. way in under a deck while people are enjoying it. So screenings, landscape cloth, and then gravel. And the gravel is just really to protect the landscape cloth. These folks, before they started this deck, put the screenings down, made sure they had positive slope away from the building. Then they put the landscape cloth down to ensure there wasn't a lot of growth under here. Then they put the gravel down to hold the landscape cloth and create a rough and rugged surface that will stand the test of time.